The mission of the Whitney Plantation is to tell the story of slavery, to provide a full picture of slavery on a plantation like this. My work is mostly a work of deconstruction. There is a lot of myth involved in telling the story of slavery. So we have to go beyond that and do our job and tell it the way it appears in the archives, also the way that it appears in the testimonies of people who lived at that time, and especially the testimonies of the people who were enslaved and endured the hardship of slavery. Whatever we say here, whatever we do, is based on solid research, deep into the archives. Mathurin from the Congo nation, Charles Mandingo, Polydor, Yero Pular. Those are Fulani people. What is missing here in this country is not the archives. Slavery is well documented. Just too many people shy away from the topic. We have to address the past. We have to understand the past. And we know that this country was built on slavery. The economy was founded on slavery, north and south. And black people who were enslaved here, Africans and their descendants, are still suffering. Those descendants are still suffering from the legacies of slavery. And this country has a big problem with those legacies, and they need to be fixed. But how can you fix a problem if you don't know the problem? So what we did is to use those first-hand testimonies and have them available at all the memorials we built over here to tell the story of slavery. Because these testimonies are, let's say, memories of childhood in slavery. And that strategy of communication really works because everybody loves children. When you understand these are childhood memories, it takes you somewhere. Voilà. Thank you for visiting. This is the best tour guide on earth.
Free training.
So what is important is the depths of the research, the seriousness of the research, but also how to communicate that knowledge. And art is really a very convenient way to tell a story. And we have artwork everywhere. At every memorial we have some art. There is a lot of spirituality involved here at the Whitney Plantation, mostly through the memorials. Every memorial was conceived like a virtual cemetery. When we say the Wall of Honor, the first memorial we built here to honor the memories of the people who were enslaved on the Whitney Plantation, that's a virtual cemetery, names on granite slabs. These people were executed by the levy of each plantation where they had someone who was condemned to death, and they call out all the enslaved people, men, women, and children, to see. Not only they shot them to death, but also they beheaded the people and had the heads posted on poles. That's the pedagogy of terror. So it is really important to show, slavery to a full picture, a full extent. This is the climax of barbarism. Slavery was barbarism, a system that was really violent with a lot of pain inflicted to the flesh of these people. And this is the climax of resistance. People always resisted by running away. And we know the laws that were applied on those Maroons, those who ran away. Mutilations and eventually the death penalty. But that violence from the masters from the system never stopped them from resisting. From the very first day they came here from Africa to the end of slavery, through the Civil War. So we need to people understand that resistance was really a reality on these places. And resistance is not only about physical resistance, like running away, like getting involved in uprising. It is also the fact of refusing someone to erase your culture, someone to erase your humanity. You know, the flesh can be tamed because of the violence inflicted to these people. But we can keep on resisting by saying, yes, you own my flesh, but you will never own my soul. I will keep on resisting. I think the most important thing is about the people, connecting or reconnecting people. It is good to write the history, but it is better to make it accessible. We Africans, we need to learn about the diaspora to understand what our people went through here. And the people in the diaspora also need to know better about Africa, about Africans, because we both need each other to be strong, to stand up and deal with the present and the future, and also understand that the history of slavery at the end is a true story of glory for our ancestors. Because despite all the hardship they went through, all the hard work, you know, building these economies with their blood, sweat, and tears, they survived all of that and went also into defining the culture, defining the America everybody wants outside of this country. That started on these plantations. Africans brought over here, they're part of humanity and civilization. And yes, indeed, the history of slavery is a history of civilization building. We need to understand that. We Africans, African Americans need to understand that. And also people of all sides, whatever the shade of skin, need to understand that. To understand the real history of slavery and be willing to do something.